a breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Socialist, this is a breaking news. I don't fully get the headline right yet. But this is a breaking news. Listen to what me have to say. You know, say, with them catch. One PMP man catch one labor right man in the yard. In the yard. A TV melon. A TV melon. That a flagger man, the man come. Flagger man. Yeah, not flagger man. But me don't get the news. We don't get the breaking news yet. But, you know, me depend on the news. Me I search. And me hear say the whole one on a vehicle again. That one labor right man. With full suit of green in a man melon grown on a vehicle too. So me look me look on that one. When time me get the news, the full story of the news, me make you know upgrade. Brand new news. I did tell them, say, I go and tell them, I did warn them. So I bet you, look after this, we catch them. Because I did show that. The shower in a China be melon heap. The shower that. I did show that in a China be melon heap, boy, when Jaff and the little knuckle them when get out and go, you can cover expense. And you gone in there in the night, gone thief the man melon. And come on. You know, so you need to get arrest, boy. How a Jamaica Labour Party will just shower down the place where they to find himself in a warmad yard at TV melon. Eh? Up to since morning I see you. But I can't break your news with me, so I have to hold on first. Till I get the full identity of the man. And then know me will go on the name and give him where he come from and who him be. Yeah, breaking news. PMP catch 2 labor right. One from Bacon in the melon ground and one a flaggerman in the melon ground. That is a breaking news. I will soon come back to know when I make the research. I make on hear because they want them, you know. And they want them say things are go tough and things are go rough. The money done, you know, no. Come in here, no, I talk about money I run. But we in the election. I just say what me say, boy, money I run, you know, boy, money I run. Right, I know I see that, don't see them here if money I walk or money I run. Because the whole of them, here were 2 gone already gone, no. 2 young, strong giant. One in a one man going named China B. In the yard, the man pick him and from around that club and spark and carry him on him van. They don't be gonna cash up on. See if he can get back in like a fertilize. And a man left. Pan in green bike and in green hat. Gone with a green band in the man melon heap with a bag. Lord Jesus have mercy. You don't think you don't hear nothing yet. You don't hear a thing yet.
Into that constituency, that fight where you're getting from those people. And that Karen Cross needs to hold accountable for what she say. Because when you say when you say if you not go so near to so something have to go done with that, the wicked witch woman there. Something have to done because after she try to bring you down, discriminate you, she try to tell lie, say you do from what you not do. And you need to take a stand with she too much. Enough is enough with Karen Cross amongst the People's National Party where we are them bill and then at this at the outcome. What do you do to Karen Cross? Karen Cross come out so. So as what you say, she get her pay and them are use she now for this track for tell lies at this girl and that the girl take. Right now what gonna happen? Why they never go to her feet? Remember you're gonna get missing, you know? And she thought she confess. Half boat in your gun where it go. So where's the vehicle? We need a vehicle, we need a gun because she know which party there. So what will happen to that? What will come out of that, Mr. Buck?
Well, we have a letter going to the police today, so we'll be dealing with all of that.
Yes, you have to do that, my boss. You have to do that.
To the commissioner himself, they are self-incriminated because when you want to please your boss, you know, when you want to please the person who is paying you handsomely, you go overboard.
Yes.
And while she was boasting about what she know and this and that, you understand, God carry her there to tell. The only truth she has told is that she buys votes. You understand? Right? So, she must know she's going to work out that one.
Yes,
but I will not remain silent because my children's life depends on this. You understand?
Yes.
And we will understand that at the end of the day, you understand, only truth will win. Lies can't win, no matter how you close it up. Martin Luther King said, truth buried in the dust must rise. Lies can't rise because you can't back it up. I didn't even listen to all her thing. It was so filthy.
Yes, it
And
was so
one of my friends tell
discriminated.
me,
It was so
one of my friends
discriminated,
tell
yeah.
me, they putting me all a line down a McGregor gully and woman and all sort of things.
Yeah.
Listen to me about that lady, they mad. She crazy. She can't
She
construct a good life.
definition, character. She forget
a
whole heap of
devil.
charge. Mr.
It
Buck,
is
you need your
devil.
car,
Devil.
you need your money, them when she make them thief. Everything what she say, she need for going to the court and out of a prisoner, you know. Remember she
Yeah.
tried to date on camera already, you know. And make them
No, but
swear, you know.
me a worse nightmare. Me worse than Nathan. Me have to
All
leave
right.
it there. So to the end of the day, it just started to be the first letter of the commission again. I'm going to spend, no matter how hard it is, I'm going to spend the time and listen to it fully because there will be other action taken. My lawyers are coming in right now. So I will deal with her, trust me. All they wanted to do is to justify what happened on the day. And
Yes.
what happened on the day is a disgrace for nationalism, especially in West Central. And nothing they can do about that.
We know, cause from couple night before the election, we hear that this man want to make a switch because him say him not have the strength to win you. So them have to do all of them, do all the video them show when got the polling station them got locked down. And them something there. That not fear. You have the people them who want to give you the vote and him lock them out of the polling station. That is against the law. What so make him want to stay in that power so that's him go so hard?
Well, him have the Karen Cross and the Michelle Stern them to make excuse for him because they want to use now the tactic of attacking Paul Buchanan and trying to besmirch my reputation. So
Yeah.
they believe that me as the agent of the people. If you destroy me, you destroy the will of the people, the right of the people. You understand? And destroy them votes. That can be done. The people them remember, they all remember. They were at DuPont, them vote out DuPont box. They were at Mall Road, them vote out Mall Road box at Taylor Basic School. Everywhere he come, him overstay him time, him and the people them get into all sort of things. And as him leave, the police them come back, voting have stop all over. So these are things that Paul Buchanan, the people see them, they live them election day. Look at Mullines, everybody up at Mullines, the family come back from abroad. People who never voted before, people
Yes.
who never voted for a long time. Everybody, you can't fool people. No Karen Cross, no Michelle Stern, none of them can erase the truth. And they will never erase it, no matter how much you try and destroy Paul Buchanan, it cannot be done.
And then
It
Michelle
cannot be
Stern have a Mexico shitting a play to one over TikTok named Andrea. But them have a one like them was with the party leader. Them come for make problem with people when them hear PMP attack and them was a fiscal mistake. Them did on the campaign with Karen Cross and whole massive of them. And them come out of one.
Every day one more come.
Yeah.
Because them is all part of the pay bill. All part of the pay bill. So they have to justify them money. Yes, sir. And them not good job. Yes, she believe that she's technical and you're trying to make an argument, but her argument is fatally flawed. Two candidates are not the same. I went to Parliament, I turned back 3,000 votes. That is apart from slave boy Evans back in Westmoreland. Send the historians go check. That is one of the greatest political victory in the history of this country. And she says something that she don't even understand. Say me, Norman Man is not the founder of the party. Norman Man is the founding national. But Otis Fairclough, whose idea it was to form a political party, even when Norman Man did back at the idea. He was the real architect of the founding of the People's National Party. And our party has honored him. I love the open church of the foundation. So that was one when people are trying nasty me up with little more. To say me, I talk about Norman, man, to make comment against me. You know, I'm intellectual, we got to do that, Michelle. You can't get bright when you get big. You have to get bright when you little. You understand? You do understand it. So stay out
Stop.
of it. Damn fool. You don't do nothing about
Comrades, mute on the mics. Mute on the mic.
You do
All right, Mr. Bob, me feel good. Me feel good for see you step on where you have to step on and you have to stand up for your rights and justice. And now make this too much bullyism with this government. Yeah, we want to see you fight to stand with you 100%.
No, you're right, me dear. You're right, me dear. Them are going like them want to come crush everybody. You know
Yes.
them can't crush me. No, you know some of them come out. You know that I'm not just speaker, you know. Not just speaker platform. I go everywhere. Me want clips use the whole of them. So them can't deal with my truth. One thing is certain. Until this life ends, I will never ever betray the people. That is what they want me to do. Forget weaken and say do Karen, come off. You can chat where you want chat, Karen, because me go stand up. Me stand up for the community. Me stand up for my children. Me stand up for Jamaica. Once and for all. If this is how Andrew want play it, so be it. So be it. I will defend my dignity. I will defend my work. God, everybody across this country, from the grill to Port Moran, feel my hand in the goodness I have done, and that will speak for me in the end. My work never started at West Central.
No.
My work started, was part of this. Andrew know when I was heading the inner city program, I gave him funds to deal with the zinc fence them in IM constituency, and I must go back for research to see if it was done. That is one thing. You understand? But my work started long ago, and he knows. You understand? Tell them and me fix the railway playing field, Tivoli playing field. Me ask Justin, any one of them people them down there. You understand? When man come and want paint the building down at Tivoli, and me stand up when PMP man in power and believe them in power. And I want to deal with justice and say them for do it, and the minister said they must do it. They say no, minister, it's wrong. And for them work kind of for them place. Me stand up with justice. Justin know that. Dodos know that. All of them know that. PMP know that. You understand? Me a man for the people right across the board. Current class, them only know nastiness. Them only know fellow. Them only know betrayal. Them only know sabotage. They are the worst thing about to the People's National Party.
Third time now, Nadine. Nadine. Colors.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, my dear.
And also my cousin. Yes. What I want to say to you now, cuz I just want you to hold the faith, and I endorse everything Comrade Brett have said, and I endorse everything that Comrade Mama San have said. What I want to say to you, I just want you to go full speed ahead with everything in place. Everything that you are doing, we are standing with you 100%. So just go full speed ahead. Karen Cross, Andrew, Michelle Stern, the whole works for them. Just go full speed ahead with the right there behind them.
We have our rights. We want to know where the Mullines vote go. We want to know what happened down at Tower Hill. We want to know what happened in the station, them a compound. We want the public must know what happened at Dupan. They must know what happened at Taylor Basic School. Ruthie have a story to tell. Rootstone and Harton, the councillor caretaker there. Everybody have a story to tell. And what about him, sir? If we are dealing with democracy, him is just one man. Him is just one man. Him not untouchable. There are
That is
questions,
it.
and we ask questions with respect. Him implies some people where believe that them can disrespect and tear down and destroy people's reputation. Him should be ashamed of himself and him should disassociate himself from those people.
Mr. Buck, that man is not a leader, you know. He's not a leader, so him not gonna destroy him. Him is a criminal, underworld, white collar criminal. So he not gonna disrupt himself with nasty Karen Cross. All of them are same thing. Karen Cross is not the PMP and all the things she go on within there. So him not a man, him not no integrity. He don't have any integrity, so you know expect him to go step down and separate himself from thief and criminal. I'm the number one criminal in Jamaica. Him not do that, bossy. Yeah, so we have to fix him sorrow.
Let me say this to you. It would have been easier for me in terms of my life and the threat to my life to just step away. In fact, I have endangered my life, I have endangered my family's life by the step that I'm taking. But most importantly, I would have betrayed the people. People who travel from abroad. People who come back from country. People who are voting for the first time in this constituency. All the people. Their sacrifices. I would have betrayed the children who still haven't and don't know when they will get a proper education in West Central St. Andrew because none of the schools are prepared. Them about to close down the one at Seaward right in front time office. Because from the over 1,000 people, students will go there, gone all the way down to about 300. So sooner or later, nobody will be going there. I'll betray all the homeowners in West Central who yearn for a day when them property value can come up back because the constituency has been subject to a generation of gunmanship, killing and violence. I will have betrayed them. The 55 murders that committed in West Central in this year alone since the start of the year, most of them are contract killings. I would have betrayed all of the people who yearn for some cleanliness and some decency if I did not respond to Karen Cross, if I didn't respond to the emissaries of Andrew Holness. I have to do this. If I never take the case to the constituted authority, I would have betrayed all of them. I had no choice. I had to do what is right.
So much appreciate what you do and what you stand for. You have to, somebody have to stand for something. Somebody have to stand. Everybody can't stand with the same thing. Just like how we want to see the party leader and the People's National Party member of parliament stand as Juliet Holness not sit in a parliament as the speaker of the house because the people of Jamaica need to know who is a 16th person in a parliament in a illicit enrichment, and with she's been there back again. We're not going to get the
We're not going to know.
truth.
No.
That
So
don't
we
concern her, you know. She's not going to nasty up nobody for that. As far as she's concerned, them done rich already. We no business how them get rich. We no business about taxpayers' money. That is, these are the people, these are the empty vessels that go around and proclaim that the people and them is somebody. Now you back up the wrong tree, because this now going to end.
No, don't end it.
Don't end it.
Buck Quinny and Buck done all where you fi buck down.
Tika, you the dead, your friend them the dead. Let me tell you what not Taylor Basic School. Let me tell you after him leave, him send in the police. Let me tell you down a dope and after him leave, him send in the police. All them things they slow down the vote. These are the denial of democracy.
What if I told you there was once a Jamaican island that fishermen swore they walked on, that appeared on old maps, and then overnight it vanished without a trace, erased from history and never seen again? Would you dare stay until the end to find out why the world tried to bury its story? They called it Nanny's Rock, a small island whispered about in fishing villages along Jamaica's eastern coast. An island so real to the elders that they could point to where it once rose above the waves. It was not large, barely enough to hold a grove of trees and a freshwater spring, but to the people who sailed their canoes and spread their nets, it was a lifeline, a place to rest, to drink, and to shelter, when sudden storms raged across the Caribbean. Then, one night in the late 1700s, after the sea had been calm and the stars steady in the sky, the island vanished. By morning, there was nothing but empty horizon and restless waves. The first reports came from maroon fishermen who swore they had camped there the day before, only to return and find no trace. They carried their story inland, their eyes wide, their voices trembling with fear and wonder. Others laughed, saying they had lost their bearings in the dark. But when maps drawn by colonial surveyors mysteriously changed, when one year's chart showed a jagged patch of land, and the next year's showed only open sea laughter turned into uneasy silence. Generations later, whispers persisted. Elders spoke of British ships circling the spot just before the disappearance, of men in uniforms taking measurements, hammering stakes, and leaving with crates covered by canvas. Some said the island had been swallowed by the sea, dragged down by an earthquake, or hidden by shifting tides. Others insisted it had been erased deliberately, its soil stolen, its treasures buried far from Jamaican eyes. And every fisherman who swore he once set foot on Nanny's Rock carried the same haunted look when he pointed to the horizon and said, "Right there, it used to be there." In the 20th century, rumors hardened into obsession. A young geographer claimed to have uncovered references in dusty British archives, documents marked classified, ISLE expunged. He told colleagues he had proof that the island existed, proof that it was deliberately removed from official records. Days later, he disappeared, his notes scattered in the wind, his name barely mentioned again. To this day, his family whispers that he stumbled onto something too dangerous for the world to know. What made Nanny's Rock so important that it could vanish without a trace? Was it just an island swallowed by the ocean? Or was it the victim of one of history's greatest cover-ups? The truth, like the island itself, remained just out of reach, but the story has never stopped haunting Jamaica's shores. In the years after its disappearance, the legend of the missing island spread like fire through the hills and markets of Jamaica. Sailors returning from voyages whispered that their compasses spun wildly whenever they passed the empty waters where Nanny's Rock was said to be. Some claimed to see flashes of light rising from beneath the waves, as if lanterns were burning in a city long drowned. Others swore that on certain moonless nights, the island reappeared only for seconds, shadows of trees swaying against the starlight before vanishing again as if swallowed whole. Colonial authorities dismissed the talk as superstition, yet their behavior betrayed them. Reports surfaced of British naval ships anchored quietly near the site for weeks at a time. Fishermen who tried to sail too close were turned away by warning shots. In one chilling account, a canoe carrying 3 young men never returned. Days later, their families were told only that they had drifted into dangerous waters. No bodies were found, no wreckage recovered. Their mothers insisted they had gone to look for the island, convinced it was being hidden. Stranger still were the maps. In Spanish Town, merchants compared charts brought from London. One bore a faint marking, an unnamed speck of land just off Portland's coast. Another, drawn months later, had the speck scratched out so violently the parchment tore. Sailors noticed the ink was still fresh, the correction clumsy, as if someone had rushed to erase it. When asked why, colonial officers muttered about cartographic errors and changed the subject. By the early 1800s, Maroon elders began to weave the missing island into their oral traditions. They said Nanny herself had led warriors to the rock, hiding weapons and treasures there so future generations would never kneel to Babylon. Some even claimed the island held a spring whose waters healed wounds instantly, a gift from ancestors across the Atlantic. If true, it explained why foreign powers might want it gone forever. And then came the letter. Found decades later in a crumbling estate, it was addressed to a British governor and dated 1798. The writer, a naval officer, described the successful completion of the operation and noted that the isle in question will trouble us no further. No details were given, but one chilling line at the end sparked endless speculation. The resource has been secured. The locals will forget soon enough, but Jamaica did not forget. Each generation passed the story like a torch, an island that vanished overnight, a betrayal written not on paper but in the sea itself. And if the resource was truly secured, then the question that echoed through time was simple and haunting. What exactly had been taken from beneath the waves of Nanny's Rock? The mystery deepened when, in the mid-19th century, a storm unearthed something strange along Jamaica's northeastern coast. Fishermen found fragments of timber washed ashore, not like any they had seen before, thick beams, blackened as though burned, bound with metal rivets unfamiliar to their eyes. An elder who examined them whispered that they were not pieces of a ship at all, but of a structure, a building that should never have been underwater. Word spread quickly, and villagers began to say these were remains of Nanny's Rock, proof that the island had been pulled beneath the waves in a single night of fire and thunder. Yet when officials arrived, they carted the fragments away in wagons, promising to study them, and they were never seen again. By the turn of the century, tales of the island had begun to draw outsiders. European adventurers came with compasses and diving gear, declaring they would find the lost rock. None returned with evidence. One expedition reported hearing metallic clanging beneath the seafloor, as if machines were operating deep in the earth. But when they tried to follow the sound, a storm forced them back to shore. In their notes, later discovered in a library in Kingston, one line stood out in pencil. Not natural. This is no accident. Locals began to notice more signs of interference. Strange buoys appeared overnight, marking the sea where the island should have been. Lanterns glowed offshore for weeks. Ships moving in patterns too precise to be fishing vessels. Divers from the community who attempted to investigate spoke of violent currents that dragged them back. Currents that seemed unnatural, as if some hidden force guarded the site. Some never resurfaced at all. Their families insisted Babylon had swallowed them along with the island. Then came another shock. In the 1,920 seconds, a researcher from Kingston University published a paper claiming to have found a French map from 1721 that clearly showed an island at the exact coordinates the fishermen spoke of. Within days, the paper was withdrawn, and the map was locked away in a private collection. The researcher left Jamaica for Europe, where he lived in silence until his death. Rumors claimed he had been paid to disappear, that his family received stipends under strict instructions never to mention the map again. By the time independence drew near, the story of Nanny's Rock was half legend, half forbidden memory. Children grew up hearing that there had once been a piece of Jamaica that the world had stolen, an island that could have changed the nation's future if it had survived. For some, it was just folklore. For others, it was the deepest wound of betrayal. And in the hearts of those who believed, one question would never fade. If an island could vanish so completely, how much else of Jamaica's history had been erased without a trace? In the tense years leading up to independence, whispers about the vanished island grew louder. Politicians debated constitutions and flags. Old fishermen in Port Antonio swore that foreign divers were combing the waters at night. Lanterns bobbed on the sea like restless spirits, and the hum of engines drifted inland on still evenings. Some villagers claimed they saw crates being hauled onto ships under heavy guard, the cargo glowing faintly as if coated in phosphorescent dust. When asked, officials dismissed it all as fishermen's rum talk. But the people who lived by the coast felt in their bones that something was being taken from under them once again. A secret surfaced in the form of a weathered journal, left behind by a British naval engineer stationed in Jamaica in the 1,950 seconds. Passed quietly from hand to hand, Its pages described Operation Neptune's Vault, a mission to survey a submerged landmass believed to contain strategic minerals. The journal never used the words Nanny's Rock, but the coordinates matched exactly where. Generations of Jamaicans had pointed. The entries hinted at tunnels carved into the seabed, guarded convoys, and coded telegrams to London. One line dripped with chilling arrogance. The natives believed their island disappeared. Convenient, isn't it? By the 1,960 seconds, independence brought fireworks and speeches, but elders watching from porches whispered that Jamaica's freedom had already been compromised. If the island really held valuable resources, they had been stolen long before the Union Jack came down. The betrayal, they said, was baked into the very soil and sea. How could a nation rise when its treasures were pulled from beneath its feet and waves? Stories grew even stranger. Divers returning from the area spoke of unnatural heat rising from fissures in the ocean floor. Some said they saw structures, arches of stone, and rusted metal before currents dragged them away. Others swore they heard voices in the deep, echoing as if the island still breathed beneath the waves. A few divers never came back at all. Officials chalked it up to dangerous waters. But families believed the sea itself had swallowed their loved ones to protect secrets not meant to be uncovered. Through all of this, maps remained curiously silent. Independence-era atlases showed nothing but blue where Nanny's Rock should have been. Yet, tucked in the homes of old sailors, copies of earlier charts with the island clearly drawn were passed down like relics. Each fold and crease carried defiance. Proof that the island was real. Proof that Jamaica had once been more than the world allowed it to be. And in the quiet of night, elders told children, "Remember the island they took from us. One day, the sea will give it back." By the 1,970 seconds, the story of the vanished island had become more than folklore. It was a wound carried in silence, and sometimes shouted in protest. Students in Kingston painted murals of Nanny's Rock, depicting it rising from the sea like a phoenix, while politicians dodged questions whenever foreign reporters asked about the mystery. The younger generation wanted answers, and some believed independence was incomplete until the truth of the missing island was revealed. Then came a revelation that shook those paying attention. A retired cartographer from the United States published a memoir in which he admitted that, during the Cold War, he had been ordered to erase strategic anomalies from Caribbean maps. One of those anomalies, he wrote, was a small island near Jamaica that locals referred to as Nanny's Rock. His confession was quickly buried in academic journals, but photocopies circulated in Kingston like contraband. In smoky bars and university corridors, the whispers returned. Jamaica's missing island had been deliberately erased, not by the sea, but by men with pens and power. Theories multiplied. Some believed the island held massive deposits of rare minerals that fueled the aerospace race. Others argued it had been a testing ground for secret weapons, hidden after experiments went wrong. Still others, especially among Rastafarian communities, spoke of a spiritual gateway, an island blessed by ancestors, where drums could call spirits across the ocean. If true, its disappearance was not just theft, but sacrilege. Stranger events began to feed the conspiracy. Fishermen reported strange lights beneath the waves, glowing green and red, moving like machines. Divers filmed footage of metallic debris on the ocean floor, only for their cameras to mysteriously malfunction before surfacing. And in one haunting account, a young diver from Portland claimed he saw steps carved into stone descending into darkness. He never returned to dive again, saying only, "The island is still there, just buried." The government's silence made suspicion grow. Journalists who tried to investigate were stonewalled. A television crew announced they would produce a documentary on Nanny's Rock. But days before filming, their funding collapsed, their sponsor pulling out without explanation. One of the producers later admitted anonymously that they had been visited and warned. There are stories Jamaica must forget, when you have very called. But Jamaica did not forget. Each erased map, each silenced witness, each vanishing diver only made the betrayal feel sharper. The people began to realize that this was more than the disappearance of an island. It was a symbol of how their history, their resources, their truth could be stolen and hidden in plain sight. And the more they learned, the more they hungered for the final piece. Proof so undeniable that even Babylon could not erase it. It was in the late 1990 seconds when the closest thing to proof emerged. A violent hurricane swept across the eastern coast, tearing roofs from houses and churning the sea into mountains. In its aftermath, fishermen discovered something startling. Slabs of stone and rusted metal washed ashore, covered in barnacles, but shaped too perfectly to be natural. Among them was a curved fragment, with markings, lines carved in patterns that resembled maps or codes. Elders gathered around the debris, whispering that the sea had coughed up a piece of Nanny's Rock at last. News of the find spread quickly, but just as quickly came men in unmarked vehicles. The debris was loaded onto trucks under the pretense of scientific analysis. Villagers who tried to take photographs found their cameras confiscated. A teacher who held onto one small piece of the stone said she was visited at night and pressured to surrender it. She refused, and weeks later her home was mysteriously burned to the ground. No one was arrested, but in the ashes her students found the charred outline of the fragment, lost forever. Despite the fear, the story would not die. Diaspora communities demanded answers. Jamaican activists organized forums, projecting old maps onto walls and chanting, "Bring back the island." International journalists sniffed at the mystery, though most were warned off or ridiculed as chasing legends. Yet, deep down, many Jamaicans knew the truth. Islands don't simply vanish. Someone had made sure Nanny's Rock disappeared, and someone had profited from it. Legends sharpened into defiance. Rastafarian elders declared that the island was swallowed not by the sea but by Babylon's greed, hidden because it held resources that could have freed Jamaica from poverty. They said the ancestors would one day raise it again, and when that day came, the world would tremble. In the hills, drummers played nights-long sessions, claiming the rhythms could call the island back from beneath the waves. For the youth who grew up hearing the story, it became a symbol. The missing island represented every stolen treasure, every secret deal, every betrayal Jamaica had endured. Politicians could deny it, maps could erase it, but the memory lived on in the people's veins. Parents told children, "Remember Nanny's Rock, remember what they took." And somewhere out on the horizon, where fishermen still pointed and swore they saw shadows rise when the moon was thin, the sea rolled endlessly over a secret Jamaica was never meant to lose. An island that disappeared overnight, erased from history, yet never erased from the heart of its people. A betrayal so deep that it became legend, and a legend so powerful that one day it might force the truth.